Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about data connectors for enterprise mobile app use. A data connector can be built using any web services RESTful API by simply creating an XML document or utilizing an existing document or feed that you might already have. There is really no code required to create a Salesforce data connector, which will allow you to pull information from your Salesforce database into your app and use it in a number of different ways. You could just display the information. Excuse me, you could even update it, again, depending on what you decide you want that connector to be able to do. So we are going to start within the Snappy WYSIWYG editor here. We're going to go to Data Sources. We click on Data Sources, and in here you will see over on the left-hand side under My Data Sources, these are ones that we have already created in this demo app. But we're actually going to start from scratch and create one for you, or show you how to utilize one, I should say. You can certainly start from scratch building a data connector using the documentation that we have provided that basically walks you step by step through how to do that. And that is located in our user manual under the resources section of the snappy.com website. But for today's purpose, we're going to excuse me, utilize one of our pre-built templates, which you absolutely can utilize, in this case, Salesforce. So if you look under Data Source Templates, you'll see Salesforce Leads. We're going to click on that, and you can see that quite a bit of information pops up in these various fields here, and we are going to go through those momentarily. But the most important thing you want to do before you get started with that is hit Copy Data Source. So basically you're taking the template that we have created for this connector and you're copying it into your app. And you'll see it's copied successfully. So we're now going to scroll down to Copy of Salesforce Leads. You can see it over here under My Data Sources. And we're going to change the name just for the sake of argument. We are going to call it Salesforce Contacts. And there's our name. Excuse me. Over here on the right hand side under Type, there is Data Table and Web Service. When you're using Snappy for database information, you can actually create your own database simply by using spreadsheets. You can utilize spreadsheets to pull in all sorts of information and then use that in your app for various reasons. Or you can create a data connector to a web service, which is what we're doing. So we're going to select Web Service for that. The source of credentials for OAuth. OAuth is basically an open standard for authorization. It is determining what type of credentials are going to be utilized in your app through this data connector. It might be that the connection you're using doesn't actually require any sort of authorization. The app creator's account is what you want to use when you're building your connector, because this allows you to basically test it. It's a prototype. It's going to tell you, that everything is all set or not, and you can troubleshoot it. So, and then the third option is user account. And user account is actually when you're ready to go live with the data connector in your app. User account will cause a screen to pop up in the app that will ask the user for their login credentials. So again, for this purpose, we're going to use App Creator's account since this is a test. Excuse me. After this point, just to see that things are working properly, you can go down to the operational testing box and click Test Select Operation. And as we can see, actually, our operation was successful. It received 22 rows of information based on the fields that we told the template we wanted it to pull. Again, this is a pre-created template with a number of fields already in it, last name, first name. We've automatically populated this information for you. It seems to be the most popular information that someone might want to pull out of Salesforce for contact purposes. So, for example, your outside salespeople may be meeting with various people throughout their territory and need to have quick and easy access to contact information for those various leads. They can do this through the app utilizing this data connector. Over here in these checkboxes, sortable and searchable, you have the opportunity to check any of these boxes So perhaps you want people to be able to search by name or search by company. You would then check any of these boxes to do that. For the purpose of this demo, we're just going to leave it exactly the way that it is. Down here under Web Service Settings, you don't need to touch any of these settings when you're using a pre-built template from over here. So because we are using a pre-built Salesforce data connector template, you don't need to do anything here. However, I am going to show you that if you were building your own data connector, perhaps to a database that we don't presently have a pre-built connector for, you're going to upload your own connector. If you aren't necessarily familiar with perhaps building an XML connector, you can download a sample connector here. And I'm going to do that now just so you can see what it looks like. So I've downloaded the connector and I'm going to open it up for you. And again, the information that is in our user manual, which can be found under the resources section of the snappy.com website, walks you through step by step how to build your data connector. And we have actually created an XML template for you with the key information, and you are then going to fill in the various fields, like right here, last name, first name, phone, or whatever fields it is you want your data connector to pull from your database into your app. So that just gives you an idea of what the connector would look like if you were again building your own from scratch. Once you had your connector all ready to go, you would hit Upload Connector. You would receive notification that pops up that says your connector was uploaded successfully, and all of these fields here would be populated with the information that you told the connector you wanted the app to see. And the column types here, the Snappy platform will try to automatically map the column names that you have given your connector with what it thinks the type of information is. So text, number, date, time, and so forth. You always have the ability to change the type of information, but Snappy will try to map the type of information it thinks it is with the names that you have created, just to make the process a little bit easier for you. So at this point, again, if you'd like to, you can click Test the operation just to be sure. Yes, it is working. Your data connector is all set and ready to go. You want to be sure you save it. Okay. And then once your save is successful, you close out. Now your data connector has been built. And the second step is how your data connector information gets displayed within your app. And we're going to do that adding an advanced list. So we're going to take a tab, advanced list, and drop it down. Your advanced list here, you have the ability to change a number of things, and this determines how it shows up for your app users and also how it shows up for you on the back end. And we're just going to call this Salesforce Contacts again. And you also have the ability to choose how you want your icon to show up. You click Specify your icon, and a number of icons come up that you can select from. If you don't see anything that you're interested in, you can always upload something from your computer by pushing the Upload Computer button, and you will see the information here on the recommended size and transparency information that you would need if you were going to upload your own. We're just going to pick our little database columns here and click OK. And we are going to go down here to select data source. Now there were a number of data sources, as you saw in my data source table, and we are going to go down to the one that we created, Salesforce Contacts, because that's the one we want to pull information from. And then we're going to determine how we want to display that information. If we want to use the default options that are here in the editor, or if you want to utilize your own. So you're going to click Change here, and you're going to look at the options that are available. These are the different options of how you can display your information out of the box. So for example, if I were to pick Header, it's going to list all of the options that I could choose to display my information through the template. Or if I want to have full control over how that information is displayed, I pick Custom View, and I am going to pick Custom View in this case. And this here, this list view template, this is your first layer of information. So this shows you, excuse me, the first thing that your users are going to see when they click on your SF Contacts tab. They will see your information displayed in list form. Once they then click on any one of those items in the list, they go down to the detail view. And you again have the option to pick one of the template views and define which of the items you want to show up in your template, or you can pick custom view, which again we'll do here. Once you've done this, you can hit OK. And now you can see your cell view, which again is that top level list view, and your detail view, which is where you can click on a list item and see further details. We're going to click on the edit cell view, and this is where we can determine exactly what information we want to populate on that list. I'm going to pull over the text bar here, and I'm going to type in, first I'm going to type in name. I need to be sure to tell it that I want it to pull from data source, and I need to pick what field I want. I have the ability to choose how large I want this to be and how I want it to align and what color I want it to show up in. And right here presently you can type in any number of fields, so we could continue to type name, 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 name. This is just telling us how much space we think we might want to use for name purposes. Click OK. And that is all set. We're going to click the back button, and now we're going to edit the detail view. And again, I have full control over what information I want to drop in here. I'm going to pull a text over here and tell it that I would like it to show the company name. So again, make sure that you pick your data source and that you pick company name. Okay. And I want to have the function for my sales reps to actually be able to just push this little call button and have it automatically dial the call for me. The phone number that is listed there, it's actually going to populate with the phone number of that specific contact. You can change how large you want your icon to show up, and you can decide if you want it to actually just show text, so it will be a box that literally says call in it, or you want to have your little phone icon like we have here. And you're going to click OK. And now you have your call button set up. And again, you can do this any number of times to get any amount of information to pull over that you would like. So at this point, I'm going to say I'm happy with the information that I have. I am going to save my app. Right now, I'm looking at the notification that my app has in fact been successfully saved. We're going to go out and look at the HTML5 version of this app. Okay, so what we have pulled up here is the HTML5 version of our app, which we were just working on with our Salesforce Data Connector. And these tabs are laid out a certain way. That's how I've chosen to lay them out. You definitely do have flexibility in how they come up on your HTML5 version of your app. And of course, when you look at this on the smartphone, or a tablet, you will see them laid out exactly as you have designed within your app itself. So if we go down to the Salesforce Contacts tab, this is the one we were just working on. This is our cell view, that top level of information that the user will see once they open up the Salesforce Contact button. And of course, again, if you have user authentication on this app, when they push the Salesforce Contacts button, the first thing that will pop up is the box for them to put in their login credentials. They'll be required to do that before actually being able to get down to this level of information. So if we click on a name here, this will go down to that second level, the detail view of information, and there is not very much here because we didn't put much in for our test app purposes, but you can see company name here, which is one of the fields that we did select, and the call button. So that is how you build a Salesforce Data Connector. You can find detailed information on how to do this at snappy.com website under the resources link. Click on user manual, And there are instructions right in there to walk you through how to build your own data connector. And please feel free to reach out to us as well at sales@snappy.com.